All right, everyone, how you doing today? And my camera's messed up again. By the gods, I fixed it, and now it's broken again. Happy Saturday, we made it. I am kind of crazy. Why does this do this? I don't get it. I fix it, and then it breaks. Super annoying. All right, happy Saturday. I didn't sleep. I got to bed a little after midnight last night, and then I woke up about 5, and then I could not get back to sleep. I kind of slept a little bit off and on until about 6:30. Then the cat got me up. Then I've been up since then. Normally I'll sleep until like 8 or 9 or something like that because I need like 9-10 hours of sleep. But I had caffeine this morning to help keep me going. So I'm doing okay. A friend of mine that helped put my computer together, I brought up to his house, which is like 50 minutes away. We've got this amazing baker in the area, and we love his cinnamon bread. So I took up 2 loaves to him to kind of a thank you for helping me put the computer together. So that I did right before the wife got off work. Ran up there, ran to get the bread fresh out of the oven. We know the baker, so I was able to get fresh right out of the oven. Then I went straight to him, chatted for a little bit, came back, and I had just a half an hour left to get ready for stream. So I'm kind of freaking out right now. Okay, how do I get rid of this? Okay, so yeah, I'm kind of with it today, but also kind of not. Yeah, a little bit tired, a little bit frantic, but I'm here. All right, so how are you guys doing today? What's happening with you? Got some stuff to go over. Got 2 hours, 3 to 5. Ready to go. Anything happening? I was working on one of my blog posts last night talking about how attendance. Disco Rat, how you doing? Good. Yeah, I'm just crazy today. I was working on my blog post I was working on talking about attendance and how it's classist and kind of racist. So I was working on that a little bit last night and this morning because I couldn't sleep well. I tend to do a lot of kind of lucid thinking when when I don't sleep well. So I started working on kind of revamping my image, my infographic for my attention within methods of exchange. I want to kind of redo that a little bit, make it a little more, just a little more information in there. So I did that a little bit this morning before I ran off screaming into the night or screaming into the afternoon. So much to do. Not enough time. Not too much. Okay. Yeah, well, I'm here. I get a chance to breathe. and we can start getting into the the articles I've got prepared. Woo! Also, our baker friend, I also bought 2 loaves of bread for my friend. I also got 2 donuts with chocolate on top, which are really good too. He's such a great baker. He actually, in our town for the longest time, he owned a bakery in our town for a very long time. He's very well known in our town, but then he sold it to someone else, and he's has a smaller bakery somewhere else. So it's it's pretty cool. He's really good at what he does. I think he even trained took schooling. I think it was in Paris. I think it was in Paris to learn how to bake, and also I think he spent some time in India as well, learning to bake something specific or something. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. He's German. He's an immigrant from Germany from a long time ago. Anyway, how you doing? I'm good. I am good. How are you today? I'm a little frantic. Had a crazy, crazy kind of morning, but got an early start to the morning, but it's still fairly frantic. But I'm here, started on time. You guys are here, so frantic. Really frenetic. Does that help? Just crazy, really fast. Kind of has your brain going, "Ugh," sort of a thing. Hardly have a moment to breathe or to think. Yeah, I took 2 loaves of bread from our German friend who has a kind of a bakery. He's an amazing baker. I took up 2 loaves of a cinnamon bread to him, kind of as a thanks for him helping me put the computer together. Because my wife, at one point, like last year, well, the year before, was bringing some of his bread to my place of work, and we would eat it, and it was amazing. It's so good. So yeah, that's like a 50-minute drive. Plus, it took me probably a half an hour to get the bread. And my friend, he had 2 loaves waiting for me, fresh out of the oven. So I went and got that. Went to and from Madison, got gas, and had like a half an hour left to prepare for stream, which is normally I take about an hour to prepare, but I only had a half an hour, so I'm like to get everything ready. Woo! Yeah, so I'm here. How's your day going there, Gaming Mind? I've got one link here you're gonna like. IBM's AI debating system able to compete with expert human debaters. We've got. I think you're gonna enjoy this in a scary sort of way. Okay. Yeah. I wonder if they're having the same ethics problem that Google is. Haven't heard about it, so who knows? Is theirs is theirs is there AI called DeepMind? Is that what that is? Or is that blue something? I don't even remember. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, the bias problem. Yeah, we've talked about that. Hopefully they'll fix that shit because it needs to be. Watson. Yeah. There we go. Watson. That's right. Watson competed on Jeopardy. Is that the one? Yeah, Jeopardy. Yeah, that's the one that did Jeopardy. What else did they? What else has their Watson done? Is that the one that did chess as well, or is that Google's? I don't know. I can't keep track. It's not my field. That's your field. But yeah, it's done some very cool stuff. Yeah, it's only going to get cooler, and the cooler it gets, the more jobs we're going to lose. But the more we can get done with it. DeepMind is a chess one. Okay. So Watson, DeepMind. Okay. All right. There's so many. I was also just thinking that would be Google. I was thinking today, as I was thinking of like when we start D&D, we're gonna start D&D tomorrow, a new campaign. It's only 10 levels. It'll be aquatic. I was thinking that after that I'd like to have us go ahead and do some Star Wars, because typically we'll play a bunch of D&D, then we'll have a sci-fi break. And I was thinking about a play-by-post game I played with a Jedi Knight of sorts, who was Nautilin. So I was kind of thinking of maybe we should do something like that next time. I don't know. We'll see. I have to go revisit that game and the character that I made for that play-by-post thing. So it's pretty interesting. All right. So let's get started here. Does anyone have anything they want to talk about before we get started? As my brain is getting in gear. Okay, you're good. All right. Das gut. Just Red, anything for you? Anybody else? Disco rat. Oh, thank you. I know very few German words. Das gut. You can live here. We need a little bit more than those two words. Yeah, German's hard. I imagine it's similar to difficulties. Yeah, similar in difficulty to Russian. At least, how you guys cram as many consonants together as you can think of and try and say that's a word. Russian does something very similar. I don't speak much more with people. Okay. Oh, really? Interesting. I suppose they have quite a few different sounds. Yeah, they have a few different sounds. Yeah. Even for me, what was interesting when I was learning Russian that when I was learning I spoke it fairly well, but what really helped me to learn it was when I learned the alphabet because because it has a bunch of different sounds, but a bunch of different unique sounds that we don't really have here in English, at least as specific letter combinations, letter sounds, phenoms within the language. But once I learned the alphabet, the language made a lot more sense and was because the language is fairly phonetic, but also kind of just if someone pronounces a word, since I knew the letters, it made quite a bit more sense. Although they do kind of have the the vowels making or the hard and soft sounds, so you weren't necessarily sure how it was going to be pronounced. So that's annoying. Cry phonetic, yeah. They speak it fast, and it's like, what, dude? I know like 4 words. Slow down. People speaking Russian, great. Oh yeah, it's like I'd be curious to see what the analysis is between Russian and German and see how many like consonants per word there are. It sounds like German has more consonants per word or something like that. That'd be interesting to see the efficiency of the language, and then compare that to Esperanto. See how efficient that is compared to others. Because Esperanto has a lot of flex. Well, we're not going to go into that. Anyhow, linguistics. All right, so COVID. Honestly, learn Esperanto first. There were studies done. Well, you already know more than one language, so you may not get the effect out of this that you would for like an American who only speaks one language. But it is created basically as a helper language to help you learn other languages, and it has an incredible amount of flexibility. If you learn Esperanto, you could learn it very quickly, especially because you've learned other languages. You should be able to learn Esperanto very quickly, and it's very flexible, and it can help connect you to other people in other lands in a similar way that English does, although it's a very different audience. If you're into progressive stuff like this, you might find the audience that speaks Esperanto of very much like mind. Yeah, I've got a whole bunch of stuff here that you can read on Esperanto. It's something that if you worked like a few hours a night, a few hours a week, you could become conversational in a few months. Because it's a very flexible, very powerful language in the way it is set together, the way it's put together. Because I have your 2 websites saved. Okay, good. Notion. What is Notion? Never heard of it. It's the neat thing about Esperanto is that you've got a base word. No taking app. Okay, that's what it sounded like. You got your base word, and then you add a bunch of suffixes to change it. You could take a root word, and then you can change it to noun, verb, adverb, adjective, and all that sort of thing. So once you're given one root word, you're effectively given like 11 different possible words based on the different suffixes you can use on it as you learn and grow. Yeah, it is. It's super cool. My primary complaint with the language is that the nouns that have gender to them are explicitly male, and that's a lot of people. Many people in Esperanto complain about that too. But I know, right? I know. But they do have a I know that's my big complaint about it. That sort of crap. Although I wrote a small article on my blog talking about this, for me, I expect that because he built this language to be kind of the first language you learn, if you start with creating nouns that have a specific gender, that helps people to learn to, learn that thing in other languages like Spanish and French and Russian has gendered nouns. That's kind of the way I think of why he might have done it that way. But to change a gendered noun into female, it has a suffix that you can use to do that. There's also a movement within Esperanto to, there's several different suggestions for what suffix to use for explicitly male. And that's kind of the way I would go with it if I were to learn it. I like the ISH, isho. So noun, ISH, explicitly male, and then the female suffix is IN. So like hundisho or hundino for female. Yeah, so it's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. Okay, so you can read all about that. Read a bunch of it there. I've got a shitload of links there as well that you can take a look at. Although the links are a decade old, so don't be surprised if there's some broken links in there. All right, so COVID. This is kind of a follow-up from yesterday because we talked about the F117, the B117 variant that has come from Britain, that is significantly more contagious and more deadly. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. Out on that one, yeah. Thank you. All right. COVID spiking in over a dozen states, most with high vaccination rates. So I found this interesting when I saw it. It's like, what? How's that a thing? It is. And people think that once they get vaccinated, they're like, okay, we're good. We can go back to life as normal. I'm like, no, bitches, that's not the way it works. Especially because this shit's coming into town. Yeah, I know. And that's, no. I'm going to start bitch slapping people. All right. Yeah, and that's basically what they're going to get into here. And that's, oh God, it's, especially here in the Northwest, because Michigan is next to Wisconsin where I am, and people here don't really wear masks. There are people wearing masks, definitely, but it's probably maybe half. So I'm expecting that it's going to hit down here fairly quickly because Michigan isn't that far away. All right, coronavirus cases are again spiking in 13 U.S. states, according to an analysis of trends over the past week, including some states among the highest in vaccination rates, as health experts warn that more contagious variants of COVID-19 will soon dominate the United States. Number one. Okay, we'll go down here. All right, so key facts. An Axios analysis found Michigan by far leading the way in new cases, with the 7-day rolling average spiking by more than 53%. Michigan is above the U.S. average in terms of vaccination rate, according to Johns Hopkins University, but cases, positivity rate, and hospitalizations are all on the rise. State health officials have placed the blame on highly contagious new variants now spreading in the state, as health experts caution national vaccination efforts are in a race against the contagious strains. And as far as I'm aware, the current vaccines don't really work against this, or not explicitly tuned to work against the new B117 contagious variant. So that's definitely something we have to be mindful of. Other states among the highest in vaccination rates, including West Virginia, Maine, and Montana, are also dealing with case spikes. I'm surprised Florida's not in here. Only 2 of the states with rising cases, Mississippi, New Hampshire, are below the U.S. average in terms of vaccination rate, according to Johns Hopkins. What to watch for? Top health officials, including Dr. Anthony Fauci and CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky, have said a variant that originated in the UK could become the dominant strain in the US by the end of the fucking month. That's like, oh my God. Okay. That strain is believed to be some 56% more contagious, perhaps twice as deadly than the existing dominant strain in the United States. Holy crap in the box. Yeah, and when I was going to pick up the bread, we were talking about this. Yeah, so that strain is believed to be some 56% more contagious and perhaps twice as deadly than the existing dominant strain in the US. That is super fucking scary. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, this is, and yeah, it's just, be afraid, people. Be very afraid. Key background. Health experts say the country is continuing to move in the right direction as a whole, with the vaccine effort hopefully ending the pandemic this year. Fucking laughable. But what had been a rapid national case decline starting in January has slowed significantly over the past few weeks, with the U.S. continuing to average over 50,000 new cases a day. The plateau level, Fauci said, concerns me. Top health officials and President Joe Biden are also advising against expansive reopening measures that states are putting into effect, including some that have decided to lift mask mandates, most likely Republican states. Yeah, what they originally said at the very beginning of this in like last March, that effectively if you don't lock down, social distance, mask, like for several months, that it would take several years to get beyond it, or at least get it under control. And that's definitely what we're looking at now. It's going to be even worse now that we have this more contagious strain. So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty horrible because Trump did this to us in a lot of ways. He's failed on us in so many ways. It's just another reason why Trump needs to be tried for crimes against humanity, because of all the people that he murdered due to his complete and total fucking incompetence. Not incompetence, he's just a shitty human being. Like, just do hard lockdown now. People are discussing relaxing. Yeah, exactly. Democrats aren't any honestly better because Biden said he wasn't going to do a lockdown. And the CDC is, like we read yesterday, right? They're relaxing the requirements for schools. It's ridiculous. If Biden had his head out of his ass, it would be lockdown, mask, social distance, wash your hands, 2 or 3 months, and then and also with an aggressive vaccine thing too. And that's what I was talking about before, right? When we're talking about, I'd be okay with getting vaccinated, at least quickly, if he had an aggressive plan, lockdown, social distance, requiring masks for like 2 to 3 months, and then also throw in the vaccines as a part of that as a way to get it under control. Sure, I would definitely do that. And that I'm still of the same mind, although, like I said before, I'll probably have to get vaccinated sooner than later. But again, Biden's not going to do that because he doesn't care about that stuff. It's all about, the monies. All right, anyhow. Okay, so, but what had been a rapid national case decline starting in January has slowed significantly over the past few weeks, with the U.S. continuing to average over 50,000 new cases a day. A plateau level, Fauci said, concerns me. Top health officials and President Joe Biden are also advising against expansive reopening measures that states are putting into effect, including some that have decided to lift mask mandates. But we gotta save the economy. Yes, who's gonna think of the 3 billion? Yes, as much as the poor half of the world. Yeah, stonks gotta go up. That's exactly right. And again, it's that sickness of capitalism where the only thing that matters is the economy and corporations making their money. The fact that our values are about profit and not, people or the environment is the fundamental thing that we have to fix. Son of a bitch. It's going to be a close call, said Dr. Ashish Jha, Dean of the Brown University School of Public Health, to CNN on Tuesday. We are vaccinating really well. That's the good news. These variants are spreading pretty quickly across the country. That's the bad news. All right, so this is infuriating as fuck. Money isn't real. Resources are. Human lives are. Why save something that's not real? Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly right. And that's exactly right. And that's what they don't want us to believe, because as soon as we start believing that, that's when the guillotines come out, because they will lose their money and their power and all of that. Motherfuckers. Yes, people matter. The environment matters. Nothing else, honestly matters. Okay, so I found this thread talking about the B117 variant, which is the one that is super contagious. He's kind of talk about this a little bit. I haven't read the whole thing, but there's a crap load here. Oh yeah, look, it's a 22, 24, 27. Okay, there's a lot of tweets here. Okay, this is Dr. Eric Feigelding. This is from yesterday. All right, I keep wanting to say B-17, like the bomber. The B117 variant is now dominant in the US. I'm 99% certain that another surge is on the way in April or May. Why? The more contagious B117 is surging now across the 50% threshold of all cases, in addition to pockets of other variants. National data also misses disturbing state and local trends. About 15 states have more cases than they did 2 weeks ago, and about 19 states have higher test positivity rates than 2 weeks ago, indicating higher rates of infection. Hospitalizations, which typically lag infections by 2 to 3 weeks, have begun to inch up in some places. Deaths from COVID-19, which typically lag another 2 weeks behind hospitalizations, may rise again in April, all while states begin to loosen restrictions. That's a problem. Yeah, this is fucking ludicrous. Just Wednesday. I know, right? It's just fucking Republican states. Just Wednesday, B117 has hit 50% of all cases in the MyHelix database nationwide. It's been exponentially surging for weeks. Okay, so this is fucking scary. Okay, number of positive samples. My fucking mic's in the way. So nothing in Wisconsin, it looks like. Michigan, yeah, like they're talking about here. Michigan. I can't see anything over here. Whole bunch of them. I need to find a better way to deal with my mic. No matter where you live, it is too early to relax restrictions that continue to have a critical role in controlling this pandemic. From California to Maine, Florida to Seattle, the COVID-19 winter is not yet done. Highly infectious variants are threatening new storms. Yeah, this is anyone who said that is fucking laughable, right? It's dumbfounding for people to say that. It's just stupid. What the fuck were you thinking? Oh my God. People, stupid. Smart people can be some of the stupidest. Stupid smart people. But the latest national data, which which show case rates have plateaued, indicate that we are not there yet. For the past week, we have seen about 50,000 new cases reported daily. That's not far from the height of the surge last summer. Unfortunately, the public has been served the "it's under control" nonsense pictured on panel A, but the reality is that it is exponentially even if growing slowly, because that's how the exponential function starts. It always sneaks up. Like super malicious, well aware of what they're doing. Yeah, obviously as a capitalist, he has a a capitalist bias for that, because anti-union, he wants productivity, right? So that's kind of a crap load of wishful thinking, so it doesn't hurt his bottom line. All right, so now when I looked at this, I didn't exactly understand what this was saying. It's basically showing the same chart, slightly different labels. So in any case, it's just people thinking that this is, it's going to go up. It's going to go quickly, especially the B117 variant. It's going to go out of control fairly quickly. And very fast, especially because it's significantly more contagious than the standard variant. Scary. Take Alberta, Canada. Take Alberta, Canada, for example. People dismissed it for weeks, but the data is playing out exactly and predicted. Okay, so exponential growth. It's exploding. Alberta B117 cases have been growing exponentially since 3 months. We had predicted the graph above long ago. Here was over a month ago. Does it look familiar? It's almost exactly the shape of the graph above. Here's what's going to happen. Currently, R is approximately 0.9. I don't know what the statistics are, how that works in many places, but with the more infectious B117, the R will jump 50% approximately, and it is inevitable. All CDC and Danish models say this, that B117 will take over as the dominant variant soon. Here is Alberta. Oh, a more deadly virus, a lax lockdown, people who don't care. What else could go wrong? Yeah, I know, right? It's it's mind-boggling, right? I mean, obviously, Donald Trump is corrupt as fuck, so we know he wasn't going to do anything because, first being rich, even if it means murdering people for fun and profit. But even, the Democrats, I mean, of course, they don't care either because they don't get paid for it. If you had any brains in your head, if you listen to the doctors and the scientists, it is very obvious what you needed to do. Even if you look at the countries that have done very well with actually managing it, that's basically what they did. There really shouldn't be a conversation on what do we do, how do we contain this. We already know. I mean, there's nothing fucking complicated about this. Oh my God, nothing complicated. Just do what needs to be done. Back to the US, Florida B117 is hovering around 51% range. Florida's decline has now stalled, so it's going to explode. Yeah, and then we were talking about this yesterday, right? That spring break is coming up here. So that's probably in the next month or so going to pretty much explode the cases pretty much around the country. Because fucking Florida. But there is a new champion in B117 lead. 61%, the B117 in Georgia, where cases have been rising daily for the last 5 days. What the absolute fuck? I swear a lot, I really do. And how is Michigan doing in B117? It tops even Georgia. Michigan B117 is now at 62.5%. How is Michigan cases doing? Also surging in March. Okay, yeah, so here's the number of cases here. Going up. Florida's plateauing. Georgia's starting to rise up. At least Florida's going down, but that's going to explode here with spring break. Well, they're going to end up exporting a bunch of those to different parts of the country, and that's just going to make the rest of the country worse too. But this is still going to probably explode in next month or so. It was previously predicted that B117 would pass 50% previously on March 23rd nationwide in the US. Oh, okay. We just passed it early, 6 days early. Damn. Surging B117 within US, growing 7% per day, doubling every 9.8 days nationally, and expected to become down by March 23rd. It is surging fastest in Florida, doubling every 9.1 days. Scientists are extremely worried. 35 to 45% more transmissible. Okay, so here they're saying it's only 30 to 45% more transmissible. Up above it said like 56% more transmissible. So I wonder if this is from February 7. Okay, so that's from February 7. Okay, but we'll look above later on. This is a huge string of when is this? When's the previous one? There's no dates there. Okay. So 12. Almost every epidemiologist agrees a fourth surge is coming. It is almost inevitable. The only question is, how bad will it be? Maybe not that bad if we vaccinate faster. We'll take a look at that. What makes me sad is that aside from Australia, New Zealand, Vietnam, and Taiwan, all zero COVID countries, we never act fast enough until it is too much too late. Leadership failures. Yep, true statement. True statement. But there are other variants to worry about too. In the UK and France, the South Africa B1351 is also rising steadily. Here's a good thread on their rise in the UK. The South African variant is the most problematic in vaccine lab studies so far. Okay. Public Health England have published update for variants of concern and variants under investigation. Note that these cases are detected. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. I can't see. Right. Yeah, and I think what we heard is the UK variant is really bad, and the other two from South Africa and Brazil or whatever, they don't seem to be much worse, just different. Okay, I can't fucking see this. Okay, here we go. So 1351, it's right here, and this must be the B117. Is it? No, that's the green line. What's this dark blue line? Okay, it's another UK strain, which I think is right. Yeah, I don't even know. COVID variants detected in England. Okay, so these are all the English ones. Rising. Okay, this is the South Africa one. Brazil. Mic stand. Notably, in the large study of Pfizer and N1H Moderna vaccinated people, the ZA B1351 variant is the most troublesome. This thread below has been vetted and concurred by two immunology colleagues. Good news is B117 responds well to the vaccines, so take it. Okay. Yeah, so this is kind of the thing that has me considering taking the vaccine sooner than later, because we got this variant, the B117 coming, which is really contagious and brutal. So at least a way to attempt to protect myself and my family, because there's a lot of stupid people out there. A lot of stupid people. When they stop the Oxford vaccine, we're yeah, definitely. They'll probably restart the vaccine, the AstraZeneca one, the Oxford AstraZeneca one, because I guess it's not as bad as potentially they're kind of making it out to. But I guess we'll see. Hopefully they'll find that it's okay. It would suck to have this this vaccine out there, and it's endangering people more than it should. It's bad enough the virus is killing people. We don't need the vaccines to do it too. You choose Oxford? Yeah, I have to remember that it's Oxford AstraZeneca. I remember it from AstraZeneca. So I just have to remember that they're connected in the same thing. Vaccine escape of variants versus Pfizer BioNTech and Moderna. Troubling new peer-reviewed paper shows even 2-dose recipients have serious trouble neutralizing the 1351 variant. As little as versus old SARS and that coronavirus, P1 is 4.2. 1 dose worse. Lots of graphs. Okay, none of that made any sense to me. Okay, sounds like 1351 is harder, the vaccine doesn't work as well against them, although the B117, the vaccine does work okay with. I also want everyone to look carefully just how gosh darn perfectly accurate the February 1st model by Garcia Gasparo, PhD, was to the reality currently. Her forecasts were always exactly as predicted. Hence, let's please not relax too soon. The surge is coming. On projections, when is this from? This is from March 19th. Okay, it's from yesterday. Projections, even on limited data, are extremely informative. They show the trend and the urgency of the problem. Exponential growth rate of B117 turned out to be slightly slower than predicted on February 1st. The growth trend stands. The growth trend stands. AB is making a third wave. All right, so it's going down. See, overall is here, and doubling time. Blah blah. So this is the original variant here. This is what it would be if it kept with its normal infection rate. Wow, that is huge. So it's gonna explode up here. Mommy. This is why, even with vaccinations, we have to be vigilant. Relaxing everything else in terms of mitigation is a recipe for disaster until we have vaccinated up to vaccine herd immunity thresholds, likely 85% range for B117 given its higher contagiousness. Vaccination alone cannot contain COVID-19 if immediately relaxing all other mitigations, says study. Of course, I mean, duh. Only gradual release of control measures plus high vaccine uptake plus high efficacy vaccine can work together to minimize future waves. Do not relax too fast. Agreed. And please continue to mask even if vaccinated due to residual chance of carrying virus. And definitely do not rely on prior COVID-19 infection for sufficient protection. It's only 47% in the elderly. You're right. And there's early off, there was reports of people who had COVID getting reinfected. So we know that's a thing. Although, people who don't pay attention to this stuff, like us here, probably won't know that or even care. All they're going to know is, well, if you get sick once, you're pretty much okay for the next time. Reinfection. Fauci bad will Senator Rand Paul, because fuck that guy who insists there's no reinfection. Oh, come on, you fucking tool. He's such a fucking tool. How the hell is he in Congress? I mean, for as long as he has been. Libertarian asshat. Actually, big study on this exact topic just yesterday. In 4 million Danish people found prior COVID-19 infection, only 80% and even lower, 47% in age greater than 65. So what does that mean? So does that crap. So does that mean that 20% reinfection rate, and then greater than 65, it's 53%? Is that how that works? Well, whatever it is, it's still a large number. Notice the sharp drop-off in the protection from reinfection by age. It's only approximately 80% under 65. Okay, yep. But only 47% in those 65 or older. Okay, so what is this? Okay, so that's the protection rate. There we go. All right, so the protection rate. So most age groups, it's 80% protection. Okay, so there's a 20% chance you can get reinfected once you get, if you already have it. And then for age 65 or older, it's much higher. It is 53%. Yeah, 53% chance you can get it. Okay. Okay, there we go. Yikes. It's not a lot for if you're below 65. I mean, 20%, but still. Meantime, I'm worried more about P1. Here's the ominous study on P1 variant that's now everywhere. In Brazil, it is 2.5 faster transmission than the old wild common type of SARS-CoV-2. That's a 52% increase, 152% increase. B117 is only 40 to 60% faster. Oh my God. Okay, so the Brazil one is significantly, it's like over double the infection rate of the B117. Okay, that I wasn't aware of. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. That's exactly right. Holy crap in a box. That's not good. That's not good at all. Another Brazil COVID-19 research group puts P1 transmission at 2 times faster than the old strain instead of 2.5. Okay, but the estimated way worse, whopping 20 to 60% reinfection rate. So the other one said about 20% reinfection and 53%. So this is slightly higher potential reinfection rate. So that's not so bad. I mean, it's bad, but you know, the amount of increase in reinfection rate isn't that big, but the actual infection rate is fucking much larger. To be clear, the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines work against B117. Lots of studies, okay, cool. But for P1 and 1351 variants, neutralization of the pseudovirus in lab by vaccine sera shows slight issues with P1 and bigger issues with 1351. We need to urgently chase zero COVID. Yeah, so they're going to have probably one or two more types of vaccines for these two other more contagious ones. Girly Bear, you made it. How you doing? We're doing some COVID doomerism here. How long have I been on? Almost an hour. All right, so you got here halfway through. Yeah, we're looking at the B117 variant, which is like 60% more contagious, and this 1351 is like 2.5 times more contagious. And it's spiking in the United States here. Yeah, it's pretty. I'll go ahead and share these. This is a link. This is a bunch of tweets from this doctor who's been talking about it, and with a lot of studies and stuff like that. And this is the other one we went over. This one is pretty short, specifically talking about B117 variant in the United States. This is like a huge chain of tweets. Yeah, so we just read, to be clear, the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines work against B117, lots of studies. But for the P1 and 1351 variants, neutralization of the pseudovirus in lab by vaccine sera shows slight issues with P1 and bigger issues with 1351. You need to urgently chase zero COVID. Let's focus on just Pfizer. Exactly how much relative fold decrease 2-dose vaccinated person had against each variant in neutralization versus common SARS-CoV-2. Values less than 3 times is not major difference. P1 is moderately poor at 6.7, but 1351 has 34 to 42%. Okay, I have no idea what this is. You're not speaking English here. Yeah, we had another image like this, and it doesn't make any sense to me. or cross neutrals. Okay, so cross. Okay, so I can't make any heads or tails. Any heads or tails of this? I'm a big fan of the J&J single dose vaccine. It not only grows stronger over time, but it also has good efficacy in both South Africa and Brazil, albeit before P1 became heavily dominant in Brazil. Johnson & Johnson single dose. Okay. Underrated benefits of J&J vaccine on severe illness. Lost in efficacy comparisons is how the Johnson & Johnson vaccine efficacy actually may get better over time for severe COVID-19 as high as 90 to 95% at 56 days. Trend is very strong and makes Johnson & Johnson on par with Pfizer BioNTech and Moderna. But I'm worried about P1 and B117 most of all. P1 especially because it poses both a potential reinfection risk and possibly faster transmission than even the already faster B117. You need to keep P1 contained in Brazil and squash out all world-scattered P1 cases. Brazil's latest COVID-19 wave is becoming tragic beyond measure. Brazil has plunged into crisis. Patients are dying waiting for ICU beds. P1 variant is 2 to 2.5 times faster transmission. More younger 20 to 30 year old patients are now dying, unlike before. Because we can't let what's happening in Brazil keep happening or let it happen to other countries, the world needs to unite together during a pandemic with the Three Musketeers, all for one, one for all motto, or else we will sink as one planet. True statement. But of course, that means, but that's not going to happen because, competition, money. I read that article a few weeks ago, right, about Finland or Sweden had a government-created vaccine, and the pharmaceutical companies said, no, go fuck yourself. And they made their own, and the one that the country made was most likely more effective than what the pharmaceuticals came. So it's all about the monies. The Benjamins. Now, the U.S. needs to share its vaccine stockpile and vaccine excess orders with the world and send aid to Brazil, or else we will all drown under the variants. Let's unite to fight this pandemic. All for one, one for all. God help us. Largest public health and hospital collapse in history is of Brazil. 25 of 27 Brazilian state capitals have ICU capacities between or above 80 to 80%. 19 are higher than 90% capacity. P1 variant is 2 to 2.5 more contagious. I'm so tired. Been trying to warn about this exact B117 for over 6 weeks. So tired. So fucking tired. 2 different COVID-19 pandemics. Many think with cases dropping that pandemic is nearly over. But truth is, there are now 2 different SARS-CoV-2 pandemics diverging. Old strain is waning, while the more contagious B117 strain is dominating. We will soon be slammed very, very hard. Okay, so the original variant is going down, which is good. But he brought his little friends with him. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, so that's the end of that one. So you stayed here to the end. Good for you. All right, so this was linked to from here. We're just gonna, I think it's from here. We'll take a look at this one too. So this is this. All right, get out of my face. There we go. All right, so this is from Washington Post, and this is from March 19th. So this was yesterday, so this is very recent. Virus variants mean our COVID winter isn't over. Don't ease restrictions. If you live in the northeastern part of our country, you don't put your winter jackets into storage at the first sign of spring because you know a cold snap is likely lurking around the corner. The same must be true of the pandemic. Yeah, especially here in Wisconsin, that's definitely the way it is. with the winter weather. Spring is kind of crazy. Never know when it's exactly over. Was the shooting in Atlanta racially motivated? Um, I haven't really read much about it. I've considered whether I should have researched it and covered it here, but I haven't yet. I definitely think it is from what little I do know, but I think a lot of it is well, it's capitalism too. Capitalism, poverty, isolation, and that sort of a thing. You know, capitalism breeds patriarchy, which breeds the oppression of women and toxic masculinity, toxic individualism. There definitely seems to be a racial component because, you know, of who his targets were. But then again, I haven't really read much about it, so just speaking off what little I know. If you have an article on it, go and throw it in here. We can take a look at it after we go through this. How you doing today? Paul's Modeling Company. Are you a model? You're a model just for me? Aw, well, thank you. Very kind of you. Very kind of you. All right. No matter where you live, it is too early to relax. Okay, maybe I need to copy. Hold on, just I've got to copy this in here. A little bit behind on that. Put the title up there. There we go. No matter where you live, it's too early to relax restrictions that continue to have a critical role in controlling this pandemic. From California to Maine, Florida to Seattle, the COVID-19 winter is not yet done, and highly infectious variants are threatening new storms. Have a good one, though. I look around here since I align with some. Oh, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, you too. Thanks for lurking and saying hi. I appreciate that. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Vaccination numbers are climbing steadily, and coronavirus cases have been declining. The end of the pandemic is in sight. Ooh, dark spiral. Read my chat, you autist. Okay. Oh my god, here we go. Hold on, I gotta deal with this. Ah. Yeah, see you later. See you later, Girly Bear. Okay, why is this? Son of a bitch. All right, hold on. It broke my chat thing there. Hold on, I gotta. How do I redo that? I don't even know. My chat broke. My first time using Restream, so I'm not exactly sure how I. Oh, actually, this okay. I can refresh it. That's how I do it. That's how I do it. Refresh. Nope, that's not how I do it. Ermagerd. Yeah, so I gotta figure that out. Why? Okay, let's change it a little bit. And see what happens. Refresh. Son of a bitch. Sorry, guys. I don't want that. I actually don't know how to fix that. Well, why don't I do this? Gonna go ahead and hide chat. I was afraid of what was gonna happen if I had to block somebody. It's I don't know how to do that quite right within Restream. So I got 4 different services I'm streaming to, and blocking becomes a problem. Okay, well, he's gone. Okay, so vaccination numbers are climbing steadily, and coronavirus cases have been declining. The end of the pandemic is in sight. But latest national data, which shows case rates have plateaued, indicate that we're not there yet. Over the past week, we have seen about 50,000 new cases reported daily. That's not far from the height of the surge last summer. How you doing? Welcome. How you doing today? Doing a bunch of COVID-19 doomer stuff, talking about the different variants and how really scary they really are, like the B117. I guess the B117 is from Britain, and then the 2 Brazilian ones, which are pretty infectious too. How's your Saturday going? I'm your 11th? Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is the first time I've really never shows me that you go live. Oh, okay. That's the real cancel culture. Well, if you have Discord on your phone, I do at everyone there. You can follow me on Twitter. That's another way to do it. I always put something there, or the Reddit, or Facebook, or any of the places. But Discord might be a good one too. Yeah. Twitch is kind of pissed at me for dropping affiliate so I can do this. That's why it's happening. Ooh, you follow only on YouTube. Oh, okay. Do you have the bell? Do you have the bell hit? Is that a thing? I don't even know. So I think you have to have the bell, right? To get notification? Jax, get over here. Bell. Yeah, look, I think you have to have the bell. Do you have the bell? You have the bell? Well, son of a bitch. Not cool. If you have a calendar, you can put it in your calendar. I mean, I'm not that special, but that's one way of doing it. Or Discord. Yeah. Discord's another way too. Twitter. Is there anything I can do? I don't think there's anything I can do for that. Is there? Edit settings. New. Okay. Yeah, Discord would work too. Well, hopefully we can get that figured out. Reactionaries in whose chat? My chat? Yeah, I had to block somebody, which messed up my chat. Next time, if I have to do blocking, I'll have to go to the actual app to do that. I wonder how I block in YouTube. I don't even know. My chat. Okay, cool. I couldn't. I have no idea. I have to learn how to do that. I knew that was going to be an issue. Well, thank you. How uncouth can they be? All right. Thanks for dealing with them, I guess. I don't know why they were antagonizing you. Maybe because they thought you were bored. Why does he think I'm autistic? I've often wondered. Ah, okay, gotcha. All right, yeah, it was pretty rude. I don't know what his issue was. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, well, I'm doing it through Restream so that I don't have my chat open over there on Twitch. So maybe that's what he's referring to. No, I don't have any messages there either. So, nope, he isn't attacking me there. No, I don't know. It's Saturday. You did? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous. I don't know. Let's not give him any more time. Not worth it. All right, so we have vaccines to talk about. Okay, so over the past week, we have seen about 50,000 new cases reported daily. That's not far from the height of the surge last summer. Yay. National data also misses disturbing state and local trends. About 15 states have more cases than they did 2 weeks ago. About 19 states... Did we already... All right, it's very similar. About 19 states... Where is it? About 19 states have higher test positivity rates than 2 weeks ago, indicating higher rates of infection, hospitalizations, which we've already read this. Blame it on the variants, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we've already read something very similar to this, so we're not going to go through this. All right, so you've got these two on COVID, which is pretty informative. If you want me to share those again, I can do that. Now we'll move on to some tech stuff. This is pretty interesting. When you're thinking about shifting to all electric, it's electric. Electric slide, I think. All right, so we're getting some tech stuff. First microwave-powered home boiler could help cut emissions. Drop-in replacement for gas boilers may help tackle the challenge of cutting emissions from home heating. This is pretty interesting. The creators of the world's first microwave-powered boiler have said it can provide a straightforward zero-emission replacement for the gas boilers that heat most homes in the UK. Now, my house also uses, I think it uses natural gas. That's what our furnace runs off, and our hot water heater too. I would love to go all electric. Go electric. The boiler uses electricity to heat water, which can then be pumped through existing radiators into taps and showers and baths. The company Heatwave is building prototypes and expects to trial the boilers in homes by the end of 2022, with first sales to customers targeted for 2024. It says a unit suitable for a 3 or 4 bedroom home would cost about $3,500, the same as an equivalent gas boiler. Okay, so I wonder if they're talking about something much larger, because my water heater only costs about $1,000. And this is pounds too, so this is much more expensive. Heating produces 14% of the UK's carbon emissions and is one of the most difficult obstacles in the drive to reach net zero emissions by 2050. Gas boilers will be banned in new building homes from 2025 and are expected to be phased out entirely by the mid-2030s. The government is encouraging the installation of heat pumps, which are extremely efficient and cheap to run but have high upfront costs, can be disruptive to install and are not suitable for all properties. Okay, hydrogen is also being suggested as a replacement for gas, but most experts think the supply of low-carbon hydrogen will be limited and expensive and would be best used for heavy industry and transport. I'm not sure about that. At least, when we looked at the hydrogen home, he just used water to get the hydrogen through electrolysis. But I'm curious about the what they're thinking about that. The Heatwave unit is the same size as a gas boiler and has 10 meters of pipe coiled inside, which is heated at multiple points along its length. The microwaves are produced by solid-state components, which can be tuned specifically to heat water and better targeted than the magnetrons used in microwave ovens. The electricity load will be about the same as an electric oven, the makers say. They say the boiler is 84% efficient and converting electricity into hot water, and another 12% of waste heat is recycled, giving a total efficiency of 96%. The company's first product, a portable microwave heater, is now in production for military customers. Okay, because the military gets all the new stuff, right? The end of the gas boiler is inevitable and scheduled, said Phil Stevens, the co-founder of Heatwave. He said heat pumps would have a place in the market for suitable homes, but this product was a clean technology where the boiler would cost the consumer the same to buy and install as a gas boiler. Paul Atherton, another co-founder, said the beauty of our microwave boiler is that it is completely compatible with existing home radiators. He said the company would initially target the 170,000 homes built each year, which would not be allowed to install gas boilers from 2025. The company's first product, a portable microwave heater, is now in production for military customers. Experts contacted by The Guardian said the microwave boiler appeared credible, though the details of the product are confidential. Okay, the ability to be dropped in as a replacement for a gas boiler is a significant benefit, they said, though they would use more electricity and therefore cost more to run than heat pumps or gas boilers. Although, of course, they won't be using gas. So be curious to see what the cost difference is between running on electricity versus running on gas. The rollout of electric vehicles already means the national electricity grid needs to be bolstered to accommodate the extra load. And the very widespread adoption of microwave boilers would add to that challenge, the expert said. The microwave boiler is not able to provide instant hot water as gas boilers, so it has hot water storage tank inside the unit. Okay, all right. Some experts said the homeowners may need to upgrade the main fuse in their home and may need their local electricity network to approve the installation of a microwave boiler, as required for larger heat pumps. Atherton said he did not envisage this, but the company would be working closely with all stakeholders. Okay, interesting. Interesting. There you go. All right. So here, I've heard about this. I have not looked at it yet. So I'm sure I'm going to be cranky about this. Democrats unveil Build Green Infrastructure and Jobs Act. This was yesterday. Senator Ed Markey called the bill our opportunity to invest in a clean energy revolution across our country, transform our transportation sector to be climate smart, and create millions of good-paying union jobs at the same time. So one thing we'll get to this. I'm pretty sure this is going to be, I'm going to bitch about this in much the same way I've bitched about his lack of a climate policy. Four congressional Democrats on Friday unveiled the Build Green Infrastructure and Jobs Act, a bill that would invest $500 billion over 10 years. Fucking go fuck yourself. $500 billion over 10 years. That's $50 billion a year in state, local, and tribal projects to galvanize the transition to all electric public transportation, reducing climate damaging greenhouse gas emissions and health-threatening air pollution while expanding clean mass transit and creating up to 1 million new jobs. So again, it's the same, like I said, the same fucking complaint I have about his climate stuff is it goes for 2050, which means that, over a decade? I can't even do math. Advanced math. 2030. So 2 decades after he gets out of office, potentially, if he does 2 terms, is when this is going to come to fruition after we've had at least one Republican in office. 2050 goals are fucking stupid because there's no accountability to this regime. Not only that, but it's fucking stupid from the standpoint of if you're, again, the same complaint about all climate stuff. If you're not aiming for 2030, you're pretty much deciding that human extinction is quite all right. If you're not aiming for 2030, you're fucking wasting everyone's time. And $50 billion a year? That's ridiculous. Well, that is that is what I think from what I have read. Ultimately, if we don't get it under control in the next 10 years or something like that, we're effectively going to be fucked, especially at the rate at which things are going. With what little that scientists can predict things, some of the things that are happening 50 years early, 90 years early, 70 years early. It's happening at a much faster rate than we can ever imagine. That's what kind of Bernie Sanders has been saying too, like basically 10 years, 12 years to get this under control. And that's kind of where my policies have also been ending. We've got, or have been aiming. If you're not doing it in 10 years, by 2030, you're just fucking stupid. You're playing Russian roulette. You're playing chicken with human extinction. I don't think that's overly smart. I know, dog. This is it's infuriating because this is all about corporate profit. Why the Democrats right now control Congress. They could right now pass the Green New Deal, universal health care, universal education, all that sort of stuff. They could get rid of the filibuster so they can cram this through and get shit done. Why aren't they doing it? Because they're not getting paid to do it. There's no money to be made in, doing the right thing. Again, that's that primary thing I bitch about. I'm going to share this too. Is this? Okay. And again, I'm going to share this. I share this often with The Guardian. Okay. Yeah. And this is when you're looking at the issues with climate change, climate refugees is going to be a large part of that. Because the increase in temperature is going to make Africa very unlivable. And the food crisis because of that, the water crisis, then of course the refugees from the rising water in the islands, especially like in like Japan, Indonesia, and those areas, and the coasts, especially like in the United States as well. Pretty much all the coasts are going to be pulled back by the rising waters. Yeah, this is the sort of things that we're going to be looking at. 1 to 2 billion people are going to be displaced within 30 years. Yep. As the climate. Yes, exactly. This is the sort of shit we're looking at. So 1.2 billion by 2050, it's going to start small and then it's going to accelerate fairly quickly. So how many millions by 2030? Well, it's probably going to be a few million. And then it's going to pick up pace. Yeah, it's not going to be good. Yeah, I know, dog. I know. And that's the thing, because they don't care. And that's part of the conservative psychology, right? That if it doesn't impact them directly, or some authority that they respect tells them that they need to care about this, they're not going to care. They're not going to do anything. Basically, conservatism within the United States is basically the philosophical autoimmune response for capitalism. It's there to protect capitalism regardless of the cost to humanity. Yeah, we're basically fucked. If Bernie Sanders was able to some miracle win the presidency, we would see a lot different things going on, and humanity might have a chance. I've talked about this climate thing a lot, right? Basically, if the United States does not lead in climate change, humanity's basically fucked, because the United States is the largest polluter basically in the world. Xenophobia, yes. Yeah, oh yeah, of course, because the rising in refugees, right? People migrating from here and there trying to find a place to live. Yeah, exactly. With increased scarcity of food and water, because we have not taken the appropriate steps for vertical farming and dealing with water through technology, and shifting away from cows and other farm animals, because there's a shitload of water being wasted by farming through, normal farming, and especially through cows and other herd animals. If we shift more to vertical farming, we can stop immigration, but also have some basis fuck. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. I mean, there's no conservatism in the United States. Has no bearing in reality. It's purely dogma. It's dogmatic. They don't care about reality. They believe what they believe, regardless of the consequences to others. And that's very hard to argue with. It's very hard to get them to go, hey, human extinction, you care about it? Well, it's not a part of the dogma, so they don't fucking care. Leading scientists project that if an additional 3 to 8% of rainforest cover is lost in Amazon, it may overshoot a forest to degrade savanna tipping point. That shift could mean mega drought. Yep, forest death and release of amounts of yeah, exactly. And I almost gave up politics when the Amazon was burning, because I was of the understanding that those were kind of the lungs of the planet. I mean, they are kind of the secondary lungs. The oceans are the primary lungs, which, of course, the temperature of that is rising. The oceans are becoming more acidic, so that is dying as well. But yeah, the loss of the rainforest, if that keeps going, that's pretty much... Actually, I think with what has been burning currently, that is actually going to have started the autocatalytic process that is going to end humanity. And yeah, that's what needs to be done, honestly. So that unless we do some radical changes, with the United States specifically at the vanguard of environment, of the war on climate change, we're basically fucked, because the United States is one of the largest polluters, because the U.S. military, well, of course, the violence destroys the natural world, it destroys infrastructure, and the U.S. military doesn't have to conform to environmental standards, right? So, like my policies, right? And if anyone's watching who doesn't know my policies, here are my policies. In my policies here for U.S. Machine for War and Terrorism, we reduced the military budget by 75%. Basically, use that to power our work on the environment and sustainability. Talking Green New Deal on crack. Ultimately, if we aim for all of our changes to be done in 10 years. We should look out for the much bigger threats. Socialism. Do you want to lose your iPhone? Oh my fucking God. Right? Because capitalism made your iPhone. What about the iPhone? Fucking Jesus. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's just, oh my God. It drives me nuts. Not to be completely doomer here, but yeah. So the Biden has the ability to radically transform the United States and turn it into a global leader, and to lead us out of, well, human extinction. He could do it, and he would, honestly, not that he would have the balls to do it, to be, potentially one of the greatest, well, he could never be the greatest president in the United States, because he's pretty fucking shitty. But in some ways, if he did do that, he could potentially make up for some of the horrors that he has done in politics. You have all the rights. You have all rights to be doomer. Hard to live on the imperial core and be optimistic. Yep. Yeah. No. It's. Oh my God. He could do it. He could do it, but it's not going to happen. Yeah, and you kind of see that right here, right? Build green infrastructure, Jobs Act. $500 billion over 10 years. That's $50 billion a year. Basically, I say that basically you spend $1 trillion a year, $1 trillion a year, not $50 billion a year. You start with June. Oh yeah, exactly. So we're talking, if your climate plan doesn't start with basically like $500 billion a year or $1 trillion a year, somewhere between that, what's the point? You're not really doing anything, because that's what you really need to be doing. $1 trillion a year, between $500 billion a year, $1 trillion a year for climate change. That's what you need to be doing. Okay, not that I lost my fucking mind over this stupid shit. Bill that will invest $500 billion over 10 years, which is fucking anemic. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, fucking stupid. All right. But where do we get all these artificial currency from that has no value? Yeah, and that of course does contribute to the problem, right? The cryptocurrency issue. We kind of bitch about that here because of the energy constraints, and it's just, yeah, just no, just adding to the problem. Okay, model after the Department of Transportation's Build Grant program. The bill to provide grant funding to green the nation's public transportation infrastructure while creating good-paying jobs in the process. Was introduced by Senator Snakefuck and Ed Markey. He's pretty cool, as well as Representatives Andrew Levin and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Okay. The climate crisis is an existential threat to our planet, weren't acknowledged in a press release, but it's also a once-in-a-generation opportunity to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, create 1 million new jobs, and unleash the best American innovation. So federal jobs guarantee, Green New Deal. If they're not doing that at about $1 trillion a year, they're basically signing a death warrant for humanity. This is fucking embarrassing. They should be embarrassed to do this. I would rather see AOC and the squad saying what I'm saying, that if you're not doing $500 billion to $1 trillion a year, there's no point. You know, I'm not gonna say there's no point, but I mean, are you going to save humanity from extinction by spending, basically throwing pennies at it? You're not. And the best of American innovation is not going to happen under capitalism. The Build Green Act, she added, will make the big federal investments necessary to transform our country's transportation system, confront the racial and economic inequality embedded in our fossil fuel economy. Bullshit, and achieve the ambitious targets for 100% clean energy in America. Yeah, fucking 100% clean energy in America by what, 2100? There's no Green New Deal in the EU. It only profits oligarchs and bankers. Yeah, it definitely can. I mean, obviously the corporations are the ones who make all the products, and therefore they're going to make all the money, right? But at least you guys are significantly ahead of us by actually having, you know, especially in the Nordic areas, fairly strong eco-humanistic values. So you're actually trying to approach this and, you know, save humanity from extinction by doing your part. But goes back to screaming, yeah, that's it. That's what we should be doing. But at least you guys in Europe are actually trying to do your part. With the United States just sitting here with our fucking thumbs in our bank accounts, crying. Something we do when we are all dead for now. Stonks over human life. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. That's exactly what this is saying. That is what they should have put, just like a big watermark over this. Stonks go up. That's exactly what they should have said. Yeah, and again, if it's not within the 2 terms that Biden may potentially have, they're just posturing. They're just giving platitudes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it physically hurts, and it should. You know, not that you know. I know my doomerism is painful. You know, I don't want you to be that stressed out. Hugs. but yeah, that's really how bad it really is. If people aren't this fucking pissed off by how anemic, yeah, again, all recipe, yeah, exactly. That's okay. I lost my train of thought here. If you're not doomer, you're not paying attention, and if you're not doomer, you're not going to understand what needs to be done in order to save humanity. Unfortunately, most people are not. Politicians aren't paid to care about reality. All right. This is such a fucking rough thing to read. I mean, fucking balls. That assessment was shared by Markey, who said that we cannot build back better without building back greener. Markey called the bill an opportunity to invest in a clean energy revolution across our country, transform our transportation sector to be climate smart, and create millions of good-paying union jobs at the same time. Seen in the Nordic countries, but the inequality is the highest since decades in Germany. Yeah, and honestly, Quite Mercenary, I think that I can't read your name here. I think this is Quite Mercenary, right? Yes. That part of that may have to do with the shifting to the European Union. And of course, you know, I bitch about the European Union and the loss of the your sovereign currency. And European Union has some definite advantages, but the loss of sovereign currency is kind of hard to deal with, because then you no longer have access to that modern monetary theory, the being able to spend with fiscal deficits. You no longer have that, at least as far as my understanding. Yeah, Gaming Mind is from Germany. Fucking laughable. Okay, we can work together, he added, to leverage investment in climate action, reduce emissions, and support environmental justice communities through bold infrastructure projects, all while tackling climate crisis. You just go fuck yourselves. We're the leading power behind the highly ethical EU, though, bringing democracy to the world. Really? Bravo, good sir, bravo. Co-sponsors of the proposed legislation, which is supported by almost 3 in 5 Americans, according to the new poll conducted for Data for Progress, include Bernie Sanders, Jan Schakowsky, Pramila Jayapal, Ayanna Pressley, Rashida Tlaib, Mondaire Jones, and Jamal Bowman, among others. But come on, guys, this... You know, the squad sponsored the Green New Deal. That is what they should be talking about. They should be hammering this shit with a fucking jackhammer, because this is anemic. This is ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Alluding to the recent crisis in Texas caused by the collision of a deregulated fossil fuel dependent energy system and a climate change driven winter storm, Ocasio-Cortez said that we must stop spending billions of taxpayer money on infrastructure systems only for them to fail at the most crucial moment. But the fucking companies made shitloads of money. What the fuck are you talking about? Fuck the taxpayers. We made bank, bitch. Sorry. I'm a little bit more maldy than I normally am, but this is fucking infuriating. Making me cranky. The Build Green Act, Ocasio-Cortez continued, helps ensure that our federal dollars are being invested in infrastructure that can sustain the impact of climate change and better prepares our communities for extreme weather events. Not at fucking 50 billion a year. Not at 50 billion a year, you're not going to. In most of the country, like, if this makes you upset, good, fucking good. More people need to be upset. Yeah, no, that's exactly right. People should be fucking livid that this fucking Build Green Act is so anemic. I mean, it just shows how fucking ballless that the Democrats are. Again, they could ram through anything right now. Green New Deal. Fucking ending the fucking filibuster. Medicare for all. They could cram all the federal jobs guarantee. They could ram all this shit through right now, but they don't want to. It really shows where they really stand. And if you guys aren't paying attention to this, and if you aren't pissed by just that fact alone, get your head out of your ass. God, I'm really pissy today. Really pissy today. Engage rage mode. Okay, all right. Most of the country, she added, subways, buses, and other public transit are practically inaccessible or completely overburdened, meaning that this bill would make a dramatic material difference in everyday lives of hundreds of millions of people. Blue is in power, though, so all good. Exactly. And that's what, us progressives were worried about. As soon as blue wins, everything goes back to, quote, normal, right? Oh, you're just adding to the fire today, aren't you? So, what the fuck? Amazon rainforest will collapse by 2064. Holy fucking balls. Okay, how much time do we have left? Okay, not a whole lot. All right, so let me tear through this. Okay, I'll tear through this, then we'll get to yours, so we can properly cry together. All right, so we can work together. He added to leverage investment in climate action, reduce emissions, and support environmental justice communities through bold infrastructure. While tackling, oh, God, this is painful. Okay, The better utilizing investments to leverage development and generating renewable energy to electrify the nation. Build green. Okay, they're trying too hard. Jumpstart the transition to all-electric public transport, which is good. Expand clean mass transit to underserved community, which is good. Help modernizing our crumbling infrastructure by covering up to 85% of costs for eligible state, local, and tribal projects, which with an option for the Secretary of Transportation to cover 100% of costs. You're also black-pilled since Bernie dropped out. What do you mean by black-pilled? I have not heard that before. Reduce carbon emissions by an estimated 21.5 million metric tons. Prevent an estimated 4,200. Yeah, we've covered a whole article on this. 8.7 million people per year die from pollution. Start to correct decades of health disparities on environmental justice. In its evaluation of the economic and environmental impacts of the bill, which it called a vital component of tackling the climate crisis, Data for Progress estimated that electrifying the nation's public transportation systems, installing electric vehicle charging infrastructure nationwide, and expanding associated renewable energy generation capacity would save lives and money. Yes, this is exactly true. But not at $50 billion. Okay, I'm going to be done with that. So go and read it. It's fucking, it's stupid. Okay. So Girly Bear shared this. Amazon rainforest will collapse by 2064. New study predicts. Oh, pleasant. Such happiness. I really need to get into meditation because I'm just freaking out. The future of the world. Okay, how long is this? Okay, not long. All right, good. So the future of the world's largest rainforest looks bleak because fuck Bolsonaro. A new report for Environment, Science, and Policy for Sustainable Development concluded that the Amazon rainforest will collapse and largely become a dry, shrubby plain by 2064. Ugh. Development, deforestation, and the climate crisis are to blame. Study author of University of Florida geologist Robert Tuvey Walker found, UPI reported. Walker reviewed recent research offering that heavy development in Amazonian nations depleted the forest and threatens to push it over the edge towards destruction. Yep. Like I say, my policies, right? I'll just go and throw these in here for you. For anyone who's watching. That we need to take the Amazon rainforest and basically turn it into a global preserve and put it under global cognizance instead of national cognizance, and then engage in bioremediation of it and reforestation of it on a massive fucking scale. By nature of being a rainforest, the canopy creates its own precipitation. The local environment and inhabitants rely on the fresh water created therein for survival. The ecosystem can recover from smaller periodic droughts, but longer or more severe events are already diminishing the forest's long-term resilience. Interesting engineering reported. Doomer vocabulary. Okay, gotcha. That's kind of what I expected it was. And I was pretty much the same way. I was fairly doomer following 2016. And, I expected he was going to run again. So, okay, maybe we've got one more chance to save ourselves by 2030. And yeah, I've gone full doomer, completely swallowed the black pill following, Bernie being fucked out of the presidency again. Game over, man. Game over. No. Longer dry seasons, which the rainforest is already experiencing and which are exacerbated by deforestation and the climate crisis, prevent rainforest canopies from recovering from fires. Flammable grasses and shrubs permanently invade and take over the landscape. The tropical rainforest dries out and transforms into a tropical savanna, the study found. Okay. Yeah, and with, of course, temperatures rising, the grasses are going to get drier and be more flammable, and it's going to make it even worse. A forest cannot survive if its canopy needs more than 4 years to recover from a yearly drought event, Walker wrote in the report. Southern Amazonia can expect to reach a tipping point sometime before 2064 at the current rate of dry season lengthening. Okay, so definitely, if we want to at least help preserve that, it needs radical levels of preservation going on. Earlier this year, a different study found that the Amazon ecosystem could collapse in less than 50 years, with deforestation being the primary culprit, of course, because why not? According to UPI, Walker's latest review shaved 5 years off from that estimate and gave the most specific date of the ecosystem demise ever provided, citing the same reason. So 45 years. Fire, deforestation, logging are leading causes of tree loss, industrial scale cattle ranching, of course, and soybean production, yep, both of which are very, very problematic. Most soybeans are GMO through Monsanto Bayer, right? So we definitely need to stop that. And of course, ranching, that is a huge, huge problem. Like most, I think a lot of the farmland used in the world is for ranching, cattle ranching specifically. That's also where a lot of the water goes as well. So if we significantly reduce our cattle ranching, we could cover a lot of water and a lot of actual farmland. And that would, if you rewild that could be a fairly decent hedge against climate change. Yeah. Oh, they definitely would. And I don't expect he'll run again. I think he did his 2 terms, right? You do the initial one, you know you're going to lose, and you're going to build, or not 2 terms, 2 runs. And then the second time you've built up your base and built up his base and raised awareness. And, it's fairly obvious that the Democrats are never going to let him get anything. So, yeah, it's up to him. He's done his, 4 or 5 years of raising awareness and getting a new generation of progressives open, like the Squad and all the others that have been inspired by him, like me as well. So I expect he's going to leave it completely to the new generation of progressives to go out there and try and save humanity. Industrial scale, okay, but in particular, drive the ladder. Additionally, illegal gold mining is laying the forest bare and polluting rivers. Yeah, because fucking capitalism. Yeah, and even what he advocates for is not enough. Same with, yeah, especially because what we saw over here, right? They're all behind this. When AOC in the Sunrise Movement said, "Hey, Green New Deal," they put that out there, but yet this is not that, and they could put the Green New Deal through. So, this is ridiculous. It's really. There's been complaints on Twitter specifically about the shadow of AOC, the shadow of the Squad, and, bowing down and allowing this garbage to be a fucking thing instead of raising total and complete hell and say, hey, federal jobs guarantee, Green New Deal, or go fuck yourself. And then raising hell about how this bill is anemic and how it's not going to save humanity. I mean, they need to be up in arms like I am bitching about this, instead of supporting this. And capitalism, don't just establish. Yeah, that would be ideal. Don't just establish social democracy. So my policies do approach that from that 2-stage process. Start with changing our values, enacting all these laws to help fix everything so that we, make everything better, and set the global legal and values standards, policy standards that kind of gives everyone the eco-humanistic values needed to shift to a resource-based economy. Yeah, it'd be nice if we could do that. End capitalism, go straight to resource-based economy. But I got that whole post right on this, what it would take to possibly get us to that point. How might a resource-based economy play out if it ever did? And it's I don't see an easy way for it to happen. Essentially, what I say is if the people just do not have the values to support it, it's never going to be a thing. Like one of the examples I give in there is that the Nordic countries, which have the eco-humanistic values, one of the 4 options or potentials I give for a way a resource-based economy may come into being is the Nordic vanguard. So they're like, okay, the rest of these countries suck. We have similar values. Let's try and merge the Nordic countries into a Nordic union with our eco-humanistic values, and then they're going to realize that, hey, money is the problem that prevents us from getting, the thing that is not allowing us to advance our environmental and human standards as much as we want to. And then they go, okay, well, fuck money. Let's try a resource-based economy. And then it kind of goes from there. But even that is probably would never happen because they are still very heavily capitalist, which is, of course, a huge problem. All right, Brazil's president, Jair Bolsonaro. Okay, when is this from? January 7th. Okay, so this is from earlier this year. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is from 3 months ago. Almost 4 months ago now. You would have more chances of this happening in Latin America since some countries have already socialist. Oh, okay. Yeah. But the issue with that is the current status quo would rather, yes. Yeah, exactly. Would rather end life than end capitalism. Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's in a large part of that. And that's why I talk about in here that, you know, if the United States is not on board, because the United States is the global terrorist organization, right? That they will do everything they can to destroy any single country that does anything other than capitalism. So if the United States is not on board, humanity is fucked, period. There's nothing we can do. Mercosur is the EU equivalent there, I think. Mercosur sounds French. The socialist equivalent, is that what you're referring to? What do you mean, man? Ah. Linky. Oh, Spanish. Okay. Officially Southern Common Market, South American Trade Bloc. Oh, okay. Full members, Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay. Venezuela is a full member, but has been suspended since 2016. Probably because of the United States, because fuck the United States. Interesting. Basically EU, but only Latin America. Okay. All right, cool. That would be cool if they could do something like that, kind of as a socioeconomic reaction to the meddling of the United States, right? So shift to a resource-based economy, eco-humanistic principles, get rid of capitalism, get rid of money, and try and survive that way. And then just work with other countries that are willing to trade with you, but that becomes problematic because the United States, of course, will create an embargo and destroy any other country that worked with them. Again, the United States, if they're not on board, you're basically fucked. Okay, again, this is from about 3 months ago, almost 4. Brazil's president, Jair Bolsonaro, has been criticized for opening the forest to exploitation and inciting forest destruction. Yep, under Bolsonaro, Amazon deforestation skyrocketed to a 12-year high. And activists warned that he used the pandemic as a smokescreen, to undermine protections for the rainforest. Walker criticized Bolsonaro's administration for appearing intent on scrapping all remaining restraints on the unfettered exploitation of Amazonia's natural resources. Yep. This would end up socialist. This would be so fucking based since these countries are resource rich. Yeah. Nobody cares about money. Yeah, and that's really kind of the thing. If they had the rare earth minerals, which is kind of one of the huge limits on technology, then they could probably start something like that. Although that becomes problematic because the United States, as a trading partner, the largest in the world, is going to have a lot of sway in preventing them from doing anything because they can say, okay, well, what you guys are doing is messed up. Therefore, the European Union isn't going to trade with you because the United States is a bunch of bastards. Not to be completely doomed or anything. Walker also estimated that the Amazon has shrunk by 20% since intense development began and that the dry season has already lengthened in the south by an additional 6.5 days per decade, UPI reported. Studies models predict that once deforestation reaches 30 to 50% in southern Amazonia, rainfall in the west will decrease by up to 40%, cementing the deterioration in that environment from lush tropical forest to arid open savanna, Science Alert reported. Holy crap. The best way to think of the forest ecosystem is that it's a pump, Walker told UPI. The forest recycles moisture, which supports regional rainfall, If you continue to destroy the forest, the rainfall amount drops. Eventually, you wreck the pump. Okay. The U.S. will try everything in their power to prevent this. They are not scared of coup. Yeah, no, exactly right. And that's why what I say in that post, that if the United States is not behind it, humanity is fucked. So if we want global change to save humanity and the United States is on the vanguard, we can do all the things. We can do everything. How could a government put the people first and set a worldwide example of an alternative humane system? That'd be kind of fucked up. Right? Well, that's exactly it. Well, the fucked up thing would be, well, who makes the money from it, right? How are we making money from this? It's all about the profit. If there's no profit, then what's the fucking point? As the forest transforms into grassland, all the benefits of the massive ecosystem will also disappear, and a multidimensional catastrophe will ensure, Walker wrote in the study. Primarily, water security will evaporate for over 35 million people living in the region, Science Alert continued. The entire continent's dependency on Amazonia for fresh water means that the magnitude of the catastrophe will be worse than heretofore imagined, Walker noted in the study. You don't have to keep saying that. Additionally, many plants and animals in the biodiverse ecosystem will be driven to extinction. Among those could lie new medical discoveries and foods, UPI noted. Timber and other precious resources will also disappear. Finally, and perhaps most alarmingly, according to Science Alert, the forest could lose its ability to store the world's excess carbon, which helps regulate the climate and planetary temperature. In fact, some predict the world's largest forest will flip from a sink to a source around 2035. Again, okay, so 2035, right? So that's why, 2030 is that date. We aim for 2030 to help save humanity. Before everything is so fucked up that it's almost impossible. Walker concluded that it was doubtful that the Amazon rainforest could remain resilient into the future given the layers of threats facing it. My God. Oh my God. I wasn't expecting this day to be so fucking doomer, but welcome to my channel. Got COVID doomerism, now we've got environmental doomerism. We've got variety, a variety show. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so by the gods. All right, so I'm almost at my 2-hour mark. The wife will be home soon. Please don't anyone go out and murder yourself. Sorry, it eats my heart out every day I think about. Yeah, I know. I feel you, girl. This thought that the Amazon rainforest is burning. I don't post. I'm not open about my stuff about my feelings and stuff on Facebook, but on Facebook I posted, okay, with this happening, the Amazon fire, I'm thinking about getting out of politics because what's the fucking point? But I get you. It's painful. It is agonizing, to watch the Anthropocene, the sixth great extinction happening in fucking slow motion, and we're saying we shouldn't be doing this, and they're doing it anyhow because stonks must go up. That's why it fucking sucks and it hurts. So there's no point in electoral politics anymore since it changed nothing. Yeah, it definitely can be that way. Most definitely. So anyone who's watching, if you're watching, I know there's 2 people watching from Twitter. I apologize. Welcome to my channel because it's usually not this bad. On a federal level, okay, yeah, it depends. It's hard to think that, especially in the United States, any change can actually happen. People, they do need to know, and they do need to know. So this is what I do. I'm Doomer, right? The end of humanity is coming, and it's important that you know and that you can raise awareness. Yeah, COVID, right? We did COVID and we did this. So environmental doom is coming, and also disease-based doom is also going to happen. Viral doom is going to happen. There's going to be more and more viruses, and the collapse of the rainforest and the global ecology is going to make that even worse. Okay, well, that's where I'm taking it. Why stop the doomerism now, right? All right. So yes, if you're new watching the channel, welcome. If you need a hug, here, drink some water, get someone else to hug you for real, take a moment to scream into a pillow, and start spreading the word, because we need people doing stuff, because not enough is being done. What she said. Thanks, Girly Bear. Appreciate it. I really do. Okay. Doomer Spiral. 2-hour mark for the Doomer Spiral. All right, guys. We reached the 2-hour mark. So last call for comments before we call this a day, so I can move on with the day with the wife and daughter. Anything. I got D&D tomorrow, which is good. We're starting a new campaign. It'll be aquatic. I am playing a lizard folk druid, and there's another lizard folk druid in the party, so that's gonna be kind of cool. It's the first time I've been playing druid or lizard folk for that matter. It's a really neat combination. So yeah, enough malding for today. Exactly. Really maldy today. Yikes. I got up early, so maybe that's the problem there, because I'm not I've got enough caffeine in me, so I'm not really feeling tired, but still, that lack of sleep makes me cranky. Yep, I will. You have a great day too. Girly Bear, have a great weekend, and I'm very happy you made it earlier in the stream. You got the second half of the stream. Thank you so much, and you have a great weekend too. And stay maldy, my friends. Right? All right, anyone else? Last call for comments. So I have a pillow I need to scream into before I can face my family. Quiet Mercenary, yep, see you later too. Have a great weekend. Anyone doing anything interesting this weekend besides screaming into their pillows? I've got D&D, and that's pretty much it. I'll probably look at some bills or something. You're working? Ah, that sucks. Weekend work is the worst. Well, good luck with your working. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. It's every day. Oh, that sucks. Have a great weekend. We'll definitely see you all next week. Get your hugs in, drink your water. We'll see you next week. Fucking balls. I do too. Fucking Christ.
Just me and you, let's make up all the rules. Count to 10 and watch the stars turn blue. Watch the stars.